You know, sometimes we don't realize that the very thing we've been trying to fix about ourselves is the exact thing God has been trying to use. And if you're listening to this today, there's a reason. Because empaths, real empaths, aren't random. They aren't weak. They aren't too sensitive. They aren't people who feel too much. They are people God has specifically wired to feel what others pretend not to. They are the ones who sense things before they happen, who pick up on energy that isn't spoken out loud, who walk into a room and immediately understand the atmosphere. They are the ones who carry emotional radar in a world that is spiritually asleep. And I want to tell you the truth that most people never hear. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is evidence that God is trusting you with spiritual information most people can't perceive. Because empathy is not just emotional awareness. Empathy is discernment. Empathy is radar. Empathy is God whispering through your nervous system, pay attention, there's something here, there's something shifting, there's something I need you to know. From the very beginning, God has always chosen the ones who feel deeply. Think of Mary Magdalene, the first to feel his presence at the tomb. Think of the prophets, sensitive enough to hear God's voice when everyone else was drowning in noise. Think of Jesus himself, who felt the pain of the crowd, who wept, who compassionately absorbed people's stories, fears, trauma, and grief. Sensitivity has always been a divine assignment. So when you say, "Why do I feel everything?" maybe the real question is, why did God make me capable of feeling what others can't? Because God doesn't give empathy without purpose. When you feel deeply, it is because you are designed to heal deeply. People like you, the ones who care too much, who notice too much, who sense the tension beneath someone's smile. You're the ones God uses to shift atmospheres, restore hearts, and pull people out of places they don't even realize they're stuck in. But here's where it gets complicated. Empaths don't just feel people's emotions. They feel people's wounds. They feel their unspoken fears. They feel their hidden intentions. They feel spiritual tension even when nothing looks wrong on the surface. And because of that, empaths often become targets for the enemy. Why? Because if the enemy can exhaust an empath, he can silence a healer. If he can overwhelm the sensitive, he can disrupt the very people God uses to bring clarity. This is why your life has never been easy. This is why relationships have cut deeply. This is why certain seasons forced you into isolation. Because God wasn't punishing you. He was strengthening your discernment. He was teaching you how to separate emotional chaos from spiritual truth. He was removing people who drained you, who distorted your clarity, who triggered your wounds so severely that you thought something was wrong with you, when really something was wrong with the connection. Empaths don't thrive around just anyone. They thrive around God-aligned people. They thrive in environments where their sensitivity is not exploited but valued. They thrive when their gift is honored. Because empathy is a gift, but unprotected empathy becomes a burden. And here is the shift God is bringing into your life. He is teaching you how to feel without absorbing, how to care without carrying, how to discern without drowning. Because an empath who finally learns boundaries becomes unstoppable. When you understand what is yours and what isn't, when you learn to release emotional weight that was never meant to sit on your spirit, when you develop the ability to say, "This is draining me, this is not God, this is not for me," you finally step into the spiritual strength you were designed to walk in. And here's the truth. God uses empaths in ways that are subtle but powerful. He places you in front of people who feel invisible because He knows you'll see them. He brings you to people who are hurting because He knows you'll hear what they're not saying. He sends you into situations where peace is needed because He knows you'll sense the disruption before it becomes destructive. You are not random. You're placed. Many of the people you've met weren't coincidences. Your spirit was sent there. Your presence was a message. Your empathy was the assignment. And sometimes God uses empaths by separating them. Distance is not punishment. It is recalibration. When an empath is overstimulated, their clarity disappears. When their heart is drained, their spirit becomes confused. When their energy is scattered, their purpose becomes blurry. So God pulls you into quieter seasons, not to isolate you, but to clean your spiritual radar. He removes loud voices so you can hear Him again. He removes draining relationships so you can feel yourself again. He removes chaos so you can differentiate emotion from revelation. Because empaths receive revelation through feeling. You don't just hear God, you sense Him. You don't just listen with your ears, you listen with your spirit. Your intuition is one of the ways God speaks to you, warns you, redirects you, and protects you. This is why you knew certain things long before they unfolded. This is why someone's energy felt off, even when their words sounded right. This is why you felt tension in your spirit before the truth ever came out. Empaths are spiritually wired for early warning, and sometimes the clarity hurts, because seeing truth before others can leave you feeling misunderstood and alone. But this is part of the assignment. Your sensitivity pulls you ahead so you can guide others later. God uses empaths as intercessors, people who feel spiritual pressure before the battle appears. People who sense heaviness before someone admits they're struggling. People who can feel God's nudge before circumstances shift. You're not overly emotional. You're spiritually attuned. You may have walked through betrayal. You may have walked through heartbreak. You may have walked through draining relationships and mind games and emotional confusion. Not because you were weak, but because the enemy targeted your sensitivity. But God is turning your sensitivity into strength. Your discernment is becoming sharper. Your boundaries are becoming stronger. Your spirit is becoming clearer. And nothing that was meant to break you will be wasted. God will use it all. You are not just an empath. You are a vessel, a carrier of spiritual intelligence, a mirror for people who have forgotten themselves, a light in dark places, a comfort in heavy ones, a reminder of God's presence in a world that numbs itself to avoid feeling anything real. If you have ever wondered why you feel so deeply, it is because God designed you to heal from the inside out, and your story, your sensitivity, your wounds, your ability to rebuild after breaking, is the very thing God will use to reach people who think they're alone. And before we close, I want to leave you with this. There is a frequency that aligns perfectly with empathy, the frequency of compassion. You can support your spiritual clarity today by listening to 528 Hertz, known as the frequency of divine love and restoration. It helps clear emotional residue, strengthens inner peace, and brings your nervous system into a state where hearing God becomes easier. If today's message resonated, spend a little time in that frequency. Let it remind your spirit who you already are. And if this spoke to you, if you felt seen, understood, or comforted, please stay a moment for this. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this message touched you, if it reminded you of your worth or helped you feel closer to God, I'd love to have you here as part of this community. Please take a moment to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future messages. Your journey matters, your heart matters, and you are not walking it alone. I'll see you in the next episode.